I am sitting in an empty apartment, staring at a wedding ring inside its velvet box. 2 weeks from now, I was supposed to get married. Everything was ready. Venue booked, caterer paid, guests invited. 8 years together. We started as college sweethearts, built plans for forever. Sarah was the woman I thought I would grow old beside. But one video message from a stranger 3 nights ago shattered everything I thought I knew about the woman I was about to marry. Before I dive into what happened that night in Vegas, I need to know where you are watching from. Drop your city in the comments below. If you have ever felt betrayed by someone you trusted completely, hit that like button. And subscribe because this story gets darker before it gets better. You will want to hear how this ends. I met Sarah when I was 24 years old. I am a software engineer here in Austin, Texas, and she worked as a marketing manager at a startup downtown. We met at a music festival during one of those classic Texas afternoon thunderstorms. Both of us were trying to stay dry under the same food tent, laughing about how unprepared we were. We bonded immediately over our shared love for indie rock, similar sense of humor, and matching dreams about life. She wanted the same things I did, a small family someday, traveling the world together, building something real. The chemistry was instant. Our first 2 years together felt effortless. We spent weekends taking road trips to San Antonio, eating late-night tacos from our favorite truck on South Congress, watching sunsets from Mount Bonnell, while talking about everything and nothing. Year 3, we moved in together. We found an apartment near downtown and adopted a rescue dog we named Cooper. He became our little family. Years 4 and 5 were all about supporting each other through career growth. I spent countless late nights coding, debugging systems, climbing the ladder at my company. Sarah launched successful marketing campaigns working toward her promotion. We celebrated every small win together, her first major client, my project, going live. Both of us finally feeling like adults who had figured things out. By year 6, I knew she was the one. I proposed at the same music festival, where we first met, getting down on one knee, under the stage lights, while her favorite band played. She cried happy tears and said yes without hesitation. The next 2 years of our engagement were spent planning the wedding and buying our first home together. We found a suburban house with a backyard perfect for Cooper, and eventually for the kids whose names we had already started discussing. Everything felt right. Everything felt perfect. Until about 3 months before the wedding, when I started noticing small changes. Sarah became distant. When I asked what was wrong, she always had an answer ready. Wedding stress. Pressure at work. Normal cold feet. I wanted to believe her, so I did. But the signs were there. Her phone was always face down on the table now, something she never did before. She started going out for girls' nights twice a week instead of once a month. The physical affection disappeared, no more morning kisses, and we slept on separate sides of the bed. When I asked about her day at work, she became defensive, snapping at me for simple questions. One evening I saw a text message flash across her phone screen. It said, "Cannot wait for Vegas," followed by a winking emoji. The number was not saved in her contacts. When I asked about it casually, Sarah explained quickly, almost too quickly. She said it was just Emma from her office, excited about the bachelorette party. I chose to trust her. I chose not to dig deeper. Looking back now, that choice haunts me. The bachelorette party planning went into full swing. Sarah and 6 of her girlfriends were flying to Las Vegas for a 3-day weekend. Meanwhile, my bachelor party was going to be simple, a fishing trip with my college buddies at a nearby lake. Low-key. Beer and a bonfire. Nothing crazy. Sarah's itinerary sounded innocent enough when she talked about it. Pool parties during the day. Fancy dinners at night. Maybe catching a show on the Strip. Standard Vegas bachelorette stuff. I drove her to the airport that Thursday morning. She kissed me goodbye at the departure curb and said, "I will miss you. This is the last adventure before I become Mrs. Brenton." I felt reassured hearing those words. But deep in my gut there was an uncomfortable feeling I could not shake. I pushed it down and drove home, telling myself everything was fine. It was Friday night. I was at the bachelor party with the guys sitting around the campfire. Everyone was relaxed, telling stories, drinking beers, enjoying the quiet simplicity of being outdoors. It was exactly what I needed. Then my phone buzzed at 11:47, an unknown number. I almost ignored it. but something told me to look. The text message read, "Hey man, I do not know you, but I think you should see this before you make a mistake. I am sorry." Below the message was a video attachment. My heart started pounding. My hands began to shake. I stood up from the campfire without saying anything and walked into the darkness to find a quiet spot. I pressed play. The video was taken inside a nightclub. I could see the VIP section strobe lights flashing, music thumping in the background. The timestamp showed 2:34 that morning, just hours earlier. And there she was, Sarah, sitting on a booth couch, clearly drunk. Next to her was a man I had never seen before. He looked to be in his 30s, athletic build, hair slicked back. He was sitting way too close to her. I watched as Sarah laughed at something he said, reaching out to touch his chest. 30 seconds into the video, they started kissing. Not a drunk accident, not a peck. A deep, passionate kiss. Her hands were all over him. His hands were all over her. She pulled him closer, whispering something in his ear that made him grin. He grabbed her waist and lifted her slightly off the couch. In the background, I could see some of her friends. Some were cheering, some were dancing like nothing was happening, and one girl with brunette hair and bangs looked visibly uncomfortable. At the 1-minute mark, Sarah and this stranger stood up. They were stumbling toward the exit together, his arm wrapped possessively around her waist. The video ended. A second text came through immediately. They left together. Room 2847 at the Cosmopolitan. Thought you should know before your wedding. Anonymous. My legs gave out. I sat down hard on the ground. I watched the video again, then again, 5 times total. My brain tried to find excuses. Maybe it was not her. Maybe someone drugged her. Maybe this was old footage from years ago. But I recognized everything. The silver sequin dress she had shown me excitedly 2 weeks earlier. Her laugh. The small butterfly tattoo on her shoulder blade that I had kissed 1,000 times. It was her. No question. The emotional avalanche hit me all at once. Anger. 8 years. 8 years I gave this woman. Betrayal. 2 weeks before our wedding. Humiliation. Everyone was going to know. The venue staff, the guests, my family, her family. Devastation. I was going to spend my entire life with her. We were going to have children together. And she threw it all away for one night with a stranger in Vegas. One of my friends noticed I had been gone too long. Kyle found me sitting in the dirt, staring blankly at my phone. He asked if I was okay, said I looked like I had seen a ghost. I could not speak. I just handed him my phone. He watched the video and his face went dark. He looked at me and said, "Oh my God, Brenton, I am so sorry. What do you need?" I managed to say I need to go home, now. We packed up the entire camp immediately. Kyle drove me back to Austin. The 3-hour drive felt like an eternity. I sat in silence the entire time, staring at my phone, replaying the video in my mind. Kyle kept glancing over at me, saying things like, "We will figure this out, brother. You are going to get through this." I checked Sarah's flight information on my phone. Her return flight was not until Sunday afternoon. She was still in Vegas, probably still with him. I arrived home at 5:30 Saturday morning. The sun was just starting to rise. Cooper greeted me at the doortail, wagging completely innocent to the nightmare unfolding. I sat down at the kitchen table and opened my laptop. My mind was racing, but I knew one thing clearly. I was not going to be a victim. I was not going to let this destroy me. I was going to handle this with dignity and self-respect. I made a plan. First, gather evidence. I saved the video. I took screenshots of the text messages. Second, cancel the wedding. I needed to contact the venue and all the vendors. Third, inform my close family before word spread. Fourth, confront Sarah when she returned. Fifth, move out of this house as quickly as possible. I could not stay here, surrounded by 8 years of memories that now felt like lies. I called our wedding planner, Karen. She was in her late 50s, had been doing weddings for 30 years, and had seen everything. When I told her there had been a situation, and I needed to cancel everything, she did not ask questions. She just said, "Honey, I have been doing this long enough to know when something serious happens. Let me handle the vendors. You take care of yourself." Her kindness in that moment almost broke me. Most of the vendors were surprisingly understanding. Some even refunded partial deposits. The venue manager told me, "We had a couple cancel 2 years ago for the same reason." "Keep your head up, son. You are doing the right thing." Next came the hardest part. Calling family. I called my parents first. My mom answered immediately, sensing something was wrong from my voice. I told them briefly what happened and sent them the video as proof. My mom started crying. She said, "That girl. We welcomed her into our family like she was our own daughter." "I am so sorry, baby." My dad's response was pure anger. He asked if I needed him to drive down, said he would help me move my things out of the house. Then I had to call Sarah's parents. This felt impossible. These people had become like second parents to me over 8 years. But they deserved to hear the truth from me, not through gossip. Sarah's mom, Linda, answered. I said, "Linda, I need to tell you something about this weekend." She immediately said, "There must be some mistake that her Sarah would never do something like this." I sent her the video. The line went silent for a long time. Then I heard her voice crack. "Oh my God, I do not even know what to say. I am so ashamed." I told her I was calling off the wedding and thought she deserved to hear it from me directly. Sarah's dad, Robert, got on the phone. He said, "Brenton, you are a good man. You have always been good to our daughter. You deserve better than this. I am sorry for what she did. That conversation hurt more than I expected." I was not just losing Sarah. I was losing her entire family. By Saturday afternoon, I started packing my belongings. 8 years of shared life fit into cardboard boxes. I found reminders of us everywhere. Photos on the walls from hiking trips, holidays the night I proposed. Her coffee mug sitting next to mine by the sink. The thick wedding planning binder on the shelf, full of dreams that would never happen. Ticket stubs from concerts we attended. Movie tickets. Receipts from our favorite restaurants. Every item felt like a small knife. Kyle came over to help me pack. His girlfriend Amanda showed up with food. She gently forced me to eat, saying, "You need to keep your strength up." Then she said something that stuck with me. "Brenton, what she did says everything about her character and nothing about your worth. You just dodged a bullet." I packed only my essentials and loaded everything into Kyle's truck. I left all of Sarah's belongings exactly where they were. Before leaving, I wrote a note and placed it on the kitchen table. "I know what happened in Vegas. Do not call me. Your things are here. I will be back for the rest of mine next week. The wedding is canceled. Everyone knows why. Brenton." I took off my engagement ring and placed it on top of the note. I took one last look at the house where we were supposed to build our future. Then I left my key on the counter and walked out. I drove to Kyle's house and moved into his guest room. It was temporary, but it was a refuge. Sunday afternoon came. Sarah's flight landed at 2 o'clock. My phone buzzed with a text from her. "Just landed. Miss you so much. Cannot wait to see you," followed by a heart emoji. My stomach turned. The casualness of her lie was sickening. Another text came. "Why are you not answering? Everything okay?" Then another, "Brenton, I am getting worried. Please call me." 30 minutes later, my phone rang. Sarah. I answered, keeping my voice ice cold. "Hey." She sounded cheerful, oblivious. "There you are. I have been texting you all afternoon. Why were you not answering? I have so much to tell you about Vegas. The shows were incredible, and I interrupted her. "How was Vegas?" She kept talking, not catching my tone. "Oh my God, it was amazing. We had so much fun. The pool parties were insane, and the club we went to on Friday night was." I cut her off again. "Room 2847 at the Cosmopolitan. Does that ring a bell?" Dead silence on the other end. Then her voice changed completely. "What? What are you talking about?" I said calmly. "I saw the video." "Sarah, I know what you did." Panic flooded her voice. "Video, Brenton. I do not know what you are talking about. Who sent you something?" "Listen, I can explain." I did not let her finish. "Do not. Just do not. I have already canceled the wedding. I have moved out of the house. Your parents know. My parents know. Everyone knows." She started sobbing. "No, no, no, Brenton, please. It was a mistake. I was so drunk. It did not mean anything. Please, we can fix this. We can go to counseling. Please, do not throw away 8 years." This was the moment. My moment to take control back. I kept my voice steady strong. "You know what, Sarah? 8 years. 8 years I gave you. I was faithful every single day. I was honest. I was present. I planned an entire future with you, and you threw it all away for one night with a stranger. One night." She was crying hysterically now. "I love you. I made a horrible mistake. I will do anything. Please do not do this. We are supposed to get married," I said. "If you loved me, you would not have done it in the first place. We are done. Lose my number." I hung up. Sarah called back 17 times. I did not answer once. I blocked her number. Text messages started coming from unknown numbers, her friends trying to reach me on her behalf. I blocked every single one. It was over. The first week after everything happened was the hardest. I felt numb. I was living at Kyle's place, going through the motions of daily life like a robot. Work suffered badly. I would sit at my desk staring blankly at my computer screen, unable to focus on a single line of code. My boss noticed. He was an understanding guy who had been through a divorce himself. He told me to take whatever time I needed, said we had all been there in one way or another. I could not sleep. Every night I replayed the last 8 years in my mind, questioning everything. Were there signs earlier that I missed? Did she cheat before Vegas? Was any of it real? Amanda kept checking on me, making sure I ate at least a few bites of food each day. I had no appetite. Everything tasted like cardboard. Social media became torture. I deleted every photo of Sarah from my accounts. I blocked her on every platform. But friends started telling me that Sarah was trying to save face publicly. She was apparently telling people it was a mutual decision to call off the wedding or that we both had cold feet. Kyle shut that down immediately whenever he heard it. He made sure people knew the truth, that she cheated, and I walked away. I received messages from people who were supposed to attend the wedding. The reactions were mixed. Some were incredibly supportive, saying I did the right thing, and it took guts to walk away. Others were nosy, asking for details about what really happened. A few were judgmental, asking why I could not work it out, saying everyone makes mistakes. I ignored all of them. I focused on just surviving each day. By month 2, I started therapy. My therapist's name was Dr. Harrison, a calm man in his mid-40s. In our first session, he told me something important. Betrayal trauma is real. You are allowed to grieve the relationship and be angry about the betrayal at the same time. Give yourself permission to feel everything. That gave me freedom I did not know I needed. I learned it was okay to miss Sarah and hate what she did simultaneously. Those feelings were not contradictory. They were both valid. I moved into my own apartment downtown. It was smaller than the house Sarah and I shared, but it was mine. I decorated with only my belongings. No shared memories, no reminders of her. I created a new routine. Morning runs to clear my head. Therapy, every Thursday evening. Weekly dinners with Kyle and Amanda, whose support never wavered. I joined a recreational soccer league for physical activity and to meet new people who knew nothing about my past. I reconnected with old hobbies Sarah had never appreciated. I started woodworking again, building a bookshelf and coffee table from scratch. The manual labor was therapeutic. I pulled my dusty guitar out of the closet and started playing again. I learned how to cook properly, trying new recipes and meal prepping for the week. Small joys started returning. I laughed at a joke someone told at work. I enjoyed watching a sunset with Cooper. I realized one morning that Sarah was not the first thing I thought about when I woke up. Then I realized I went an entire day without thinking about her at all. Around month 5, I ran into Emma, one of Sarah's friends, at the grocery store. It was awkward. She approached me hesitantly and said, "Brenton, I just want you to know, for what it is worth, I told her not to go with that guy that night. I told her she was making a huge mistake. She did not listen to any of us. I am really sorry for what she did to you." I appreciated her honesty. I told her it was in the past now. And I meant it. 1 year after everything fell apart, I was 33 years old and a completely different person. Stronger, wiser, more careful about who I let into my life. I got promoted at work to senior engineer. I started dating again casually with no rush to jump into anything serious. I met someone new at a coffee shop. Genuine connection, easy conversation. We have been taking things slow. When she asked about my past, I was honest but brief. I told her I was engaged once. It did not work out, and it taught me what I will never accept again. She respected that answer. I heard through mutual friends that Sarah tried reaching out multiple times. She sent messages through people we both knew saying things like, "I made the biggest mistake of my life. I think about you every day. Can we please talk?" I never responded. I learned that closure does not require the other person's participation. True closure comes from within. The anger I felt for so long eventually faded. It was replaced with something better: indifference. That is when I knew I was truly free. I do not hate Sarah anymore. Honestly, I pity her. She destroyed something real, something solid for something temporary and meaningless. Looking back now, I am grateful in an unexpected way. That video, as painful as it was to watch, saved me from marrying the wrong person. It saved me from building a life with someone who did not value loyalty, honesty, or commitment. I deserved better. I know that now. The hardest part of this entire experience was not the betrayal itself. It was accepting that the person I loved never really existed. I loved an illusion. I loved the version of Sarah I wanted her to be, not who she actually was. But here is what I learned through all of this pain. My worth is not determined by someone else's inability to see it. My value does not decrease because someone failed to appreciate it. Walking away from that wedding was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. It was also the most self-respecting choice I have ever made. If you are going through something similar right now, if you are questioning whether you should stay with someone who betrayed you, hear this clearly. You deserve someone who would never risk losing you for a night in Vegas. You deserve someone who values you enough to stay faithful even when they are drunk, even when you are not around, even when nobody is watching. Do not settle for less than that, ever. And whoever sent me that video, thank you. You saved my life. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to walk away from someone you thought you would spend forever with? How did you find the strength to leave? Drop your story in the comments below. Hit that like button if this story resonated with you. Subscribe to this channel because I share real stories about real life, and your support means everything. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it today. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps someone out there make the right choice for themselves. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and remember you are worth more than someone's worst decision. Take care.